To be or not to be? That is the question. Famous line from Hamlet. Hamlet was written by William Shakespeare around 1599 and 1602. The exact date is not known. The play consists of 5 acts and is the longest play written by Shakespeare. It is arguably the most famous play in the world. The play dramatizes the revenge Prince Hamlet is called to wreak upon his uncle Claudius by a ghost of Hamlet's father, King Hamlet. Claudius had murdered his own brother and seized the throne, also marrying his deceased brother's widow. The play is full of drama, mystery, and suspense. Being a complex drama, the story is not easy to follow. Another challenge to following a story is the language. Being written a little over 400 years ago, the language has changed. Some of the words used in the play are not used today. Some words have taken on new meanings, and people spoke differently back in the 16th and 17th centuries. People today that read Shakespeare work have studied Latin, French, German, or Spanish, or are familiar with poetry. These people will follow along easily. For those not familiar with Latin-based languages or poetry, they will be challenged to untangle the unusual sentence structure. Today, actors that study language and articulate it for us that the essential meaning is heard or, when combined with action, is at least felt. Now, I'll be reading Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Act 3, Scene 1. This particular scene is between Hamlet and Ophelia. Hamlet is contemplating and questioning his purpose in life and life itself, while at the exact same time is having an interesting dialogue with Ophelia the princess, his lover of past times, and peculiar interaction between the two. So, let us go. This is starting off with Hamlet. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end to them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Ah, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grant and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have, than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied, or with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph, in the orisons, be all my sins remembered. Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day? I humbly thank you. Well, well, well. My lord, I have remembrances of yours, that I have long longed to redeliver. I pray you, now receive them. No, not I. I never gave you aught. My honor, lord, you know right well you did, and with them Words of so sweet breath composed, as made the things more rich, their perfume lost. Take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor, when givers prove unkind. There, my lord. Ha, ha! Are you honest? My lord. Are you fair? What means your lordship? That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty. Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty? Aye, truly, for the power of beauty will sooner transform the honesty from that which it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometimes a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once. Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so. You should not have believed me, for virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not. I was the more deceived. Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my back than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do crawling between earth and heaven? We aren't knaves, we all believe. None of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father? At home, my lord. Let the doers be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell. Oh, help him, you sweet heavens. If thou dost marry, I give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calumny, but there to a nunnery go. Farewell. Or, if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool, for a wise man know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery, go, and quickly too. Farewell. O heavenly powers, restore him. I have heard of your paintings too, well enough. God has given you one face, and you make yourself another. You jig, you amble, and you lisp, and nickname God's creatures, and make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to, I'll no more on it. It hath made me mad. I say we have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery, go! Oh, what a noble mind is here, overthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eyes, tongue, sword, the expectancy and the rose of their fair state, this glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quiet down, and I, oh the ladies, must eject and wretched, that suck the honey of his music vows. Now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me, to have seen what I have seen. See what I see.